Welcome back to another episode of Middle-Aged Man uses YouTube as free therapy, or depression diaries if you like. Today I'm joined by my assistant Hazel, who is intrigued by rain apparently, so that's lovely. I didn't make any videos last week, as I'm sure the dozens of people who subscribe will have realised. I made a flurry of videos the week before last, and then last week I felt a bit ill, physically as well as mentally. Um, so I was just in bed for most of the week and didn't make any videos. So I'm sure you're all screaming out with frustration for a new video, so here it is. I've realised as well that in YouTube videos I need to leave like gaps or have a title card or something for a subscribe link, because I'm sure you're all eager to subscribe. Maybe a theme tune as well. Um, yeah, maybe I'll come up with something. I could do a really cringe-worthy song now, um, to the tune of Salt and Pepper's Let's Talk About Sex. Is let's talk about ADHD. Let's talk about ASD. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things about neurodiversity. Yeah, I won't give up my day job. Okay, so I've got a couple of things I wanted to talk about today. I've actually made some notes on my noteboard. Um, and these are things that I've been thinking about quite heavily this week. Things that kind of impact my life quite a bit, I think. The first one, I need to have a look. I call it delayed gratification. I think within the ADHD community, it's called delay aversion. And this is one of those things that, like, neurotypical people will say, "Oh, I have that as well." Um, and I think with a lot of ADHD and autism symptoms, the things that everyone kind of experiences at some point in their life, and I think that can almost make it easy to um, diminish how much of an impact these things have on people with neurodiversity. But yeah, the things that everyone experiences at some point, but the sort of level and the impact that these things have on neurodiverse people can't be understated. So anyway, the first one is, like I said, delay aversion, or lack of ability to delay gratification. And this is a thing that I experience quite a lot. I think I've always experienced it. Is where, um, well, to put it really simply, you're just really bad at having to wait for things. Um, so a good example of this, like that happens pretty much every day, is when I'm taking the kids to school. I have like a set rule that we leave the house at 8:30. We don't actually need to leave the house at 8:30. We could leave like 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, and we'd probably still get there on time. It's fine. But because I have this thing in my head that I want to leave at 8:30, as soon as it gets to 8:30, I start getting really impatient with the kids. I start getting quite snappy. I'll be pacing up and down, which I know is really helpful. Really grown up way to deal with it. Um, and I think it's only since I've started down this ADHD path that I've realised what it is that's causing me to be like that. And it sounds really easy to figure out. You know, every morning when it gets to 8:30, I start getting irritated. Um, but it's taken me a while to get to this conclusion. And, it doesn't help that I don't have a link to my emotions, so I find it difficult to identify exactly what's going on in my head. Um, so I'll get like the physical symptoms of an emotion. I'll start getting irritable. I'll start getting snappy. Um, but if you ask me what's actually going on in my head, I'd have to stop and think about it. So anyway, this kind of ties in with this delay aversion. And what it is, any kind of delay, I think, where I'm not expecting it or it's out of my control, just intensely frustrates me, to the point where I start getting annoyed with people. Um, yeah, I don't deal with it very well. Um, but it's something that now I've identified it, I can start figuring out exactly how to deal with it. Um, yeah, and I think it kind of impacts my life in quite a lot of ways. So when I first met my wife, what, 8 years ago now, I was making pretty decent money. Um, I can't even remember, like 60 grand a year, something like that. Not massive amounts, but decent. I was living on my own. Um, I was single, obviously. um, I was paying child maintenance for my oldest daughter, but really, like with my limited social life, I really didn't have many outgoings. My mortgage was tiny, so you'd think I'd be doing okay. Actually, I was in quite a lot of debt, and the reason for that is that as soon as payday rolled round every month, I'd be itching to spend that money on something, and usually it was like computer stuff or electronic stuff. What tends to happen is I'll have a project I want to do, or I'll see something I want to buy during the month, and then I cannot get it out of my head. Um, the last one I had recently, although I did put it on interest-free credit, so I got away with that one, was a Steam Deck, which is a handheld gaming PC. Now, my excuse for that was that once a month or so, or once every other month, I go down to London for work. So I wanted something I could take with me and game on. Um, but it's quite a lot of money. There's no real need for it. I think since I bought it, I've actually taken it to London once maybe and played one game on it. Um, there's no real justification for buying that. But um, as soon as I decided I wanted it, like I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was trying to work out how I could sort of fudge fudge my budget so that I could buy it, and it's ridiculous, but I can't put off buying things, or I can't not buy things. Um, and again, it's something that since I've identified it, I know I need to work on it. But that impatience, that frustration at not being able to do the thing that I want to do right now, um, until I've started like this, without wanting to sound like a hippie, this sort of journey of self improvement and self identification. Um, I wouldn't have been able to point that out and say, yes, this is a problem that I have. I just thought it was a kind of, oh, everyone has this issue. Um, but yeah, I said the Steam Deck was the latest thing I bought. I also bought a bandsaw, which I do like. Yeah, I try and do a little bit of woodwork here and there, but I don't know if you can see how big this room is. It's not the biggest room in the world. I've got no idea where I'm going to put this. Um, maybe I'll build a shed in the backyard or something and take up half the yard. Um, anyway, so that's the delayed gratification or delay aversion thing. That apparently it's really common in ADHD people. It's another of those things that, yeah, Hazel's trying to get in on the action. It's another of those things that you can dismiss and say, well, you just have to learn to deal with it. But I think neurodivergence is all about um, these little things that neurotypical people seem to find really easy, or they're just part of being a grown up or being an adult, and you don't realise how much your brain chemistry makes these things difficult. Yeah, anyway, so that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. It's something I'm working on, it's something I'm aware of, and yeah, it's taken me a long time to get to where I am. My wife helps a lot. She basically gives me pocket money, so I only have a certain amount to spend every month. Otherwise, I would just throw all our money away on stupid things. Um, Without a doubt, like even just thinking about it now, I'm still paying off debts from when we met, and I'm still looking at various things I want to buy. There's a pair of AR glasses that I'm trying really hard not to think about because I could put them on credit and that'd be fine, but I'd be paying it off in 2 years, and yeah, ridiculous. Anyway, that's delay aversion. So that's an ADHD thing. The other thing I want to talk about is a little bit heavy. It's a bit heavier than the delay aversion thing. It's something that came up in my therapy session this week, um, and it's something that I'm clearly uncomfortable about because my legs just started bouncing. Um, Although I don't feel uncomfortable about it, but and I'm obviously going to post this on social media, so I don't feel that uncomfortable about it. And it's so like I've discussed previously, and even on this video, I don't have much of a link to my emotions, if any. Um, so my mental state is generally a state of meh, um, no matter what's happening. And I've also got this thing with my memories. So I have a thing called severely deficient autobiographical memory, which just rolls off the tongue. It's like SDAM, SDAM, um, which means that I don't have any autobiographical memory. So when I think back on my memories, they're more like very occasional, brief post-it notes of like facts of things that happened. I've got no like narrative memory, if you want. I can't recall memories. I can't recall time spent with people or anything like that. So I was talking about this a bit in therapy, and we came round to the question of what does it mean when I say I love someone. So I love my wife, I love my children, but if, God forbid, um, anything happened to them or they disappeared off the face of the earth tomorrow, like the fact that within a relatively short period of time I wouldn't be able to recall ever spending time with them. Like I'd know they had existed in the past. I'd have that fact in my head. I'd have pictures, but I'd have no emotional connection to that past. Um, does that mean that I love them less than a normal person is able to? Does it mean that the emotions I have about people are less valid? Um, so sorry, the camera's bouncing about because my leg's bouncing. I'm going to try and stop that. So an example I can think of is my nana, my mum's mum. Um, we growing up, my mum worked quite a lot. So picking up from school, we'd get picked up by my nana. We'd go back to her house. We'd spend a lot of time with her. I think I had quite a close relationship with her that I don't remember. I think I spent a lot of time with my nana that I don't remember. Um, she died when I was about 20, and I've literally got no memories of time spent with her. I can look at pictures, I've got no emotional connection to that. And that does that mean that I loved her less because I don't have those memories? Does it mean that relationships I have with people now, because I won't remember them if I don't constantly spend time with them? Even my parents, my sister, um, like growing up, I've got no real memories of growing up. I've got no memories of school. Um, but if you ask me, I said obviously I love my mum and dad. Um, but what does that really mean? Because at some point, you know, my parents are getting quite old now. Sorry, mum and dad, if you're watching this. Um, you know, the reality is they're going to die at some point. What will I have from that lifetime together? Nothing. Pictures. Um, the fact that I spent time with them. Like, what does that say about me as a person? Yeah. So yeah, that's if you're wondering why I'm going to therapy, why I'm struggling with depression. I think the last 5 minutes has probably given quite a lot of insight into that. And this is the kind of thing that, you know, I carry around with me all day, every day. Um, like, just throughout the course of the day, I've got thoughts going on in my head like, when I say I love my children, do I really love my children? Um, and what does that really mean? Yeah. Anyway, so that's some lovely upbeat thoughts for you on a Monday morning. Um, Maybe I should do a little outro jingle. Let's talk about ADHD. It's not going to catch on, is it? But I'm just going to maybe gaze wistfully into the distance for a minute while I put up a subscribe link down here somewhere. Subscribe. Yeah. We'll get another shot of Hazel. Hazel. Hello. You looking at the rain? Cool. Hazel's enjoying the rain. I did want to talk about the AirTag thing here, actually, because I might start talking a little bit about projects that I've got going on, but maybe I'll leave that till next time. So, yeah, toodaloo, have a lovely week, and yeah, lots of things to think about. Subscribe and like and stuff. Cheers.